Hey everybody, I'm Justin.
I'm Jody.
And we are Board Game Perspective, and today we are going to be taking a look at Not Alone and the Sanctuary expansion for Not Alone. Both of these are coming from Stronghold Games, and they play 2 to 7 players. So, Not Alone and its expansion are games where you are playing one versus all, and it is a hidden movement game, and one of the players is going to be playing the creature. Everybody else is going to be playing the hunted. So we're going to go ahead, take a look at how this is played, and then we're going to come back up and give you guys our thoughts.
So this setup includes the base game and the expansion. So what you're going to do is set up the cards 1 through 5. This is from the base game, and then the expansion provides new 6 through 10 cards which you will use. You won't use the 6 through 10 in the base game. And then you're going to put the 6 through 10 up here depending on player count as a reserve. And then you have this original board here, and now you have this defense board, or the sanctuary board up here. We put the defense counter on player count. Whenever you're playing with this expansion, you'll always put the rescue counter on 2 to start. And now you also have this sanctuary token, and this is kind of randomly put out. What you're going to do is one of the hunted is going to just make their cards available, and the creature is going to pick one. And that's just going to show you the place. So this was a 1. So this is going to start on the 1. And speaking of the hunted here, every hunted player starts with cards 1 through 5 in their hand. These are place cards. So they have all of these cards in their hand to start. And some other cards as well. The expansion now provides this avatar card, which is like a player power that you have for the whole game. There's also survival cards. This is with the base game. Every hunted player starts with 1. And then you have the survivor cards, which are here, and you place 2 face up. And then you have the hunted. Now this is the hunted, or not the hunted, the creature, which I have over here. The creature starts with 3 hunt cards. Now they also start with some DNA tokens depending on how many hunted are playing in the game. The normal tokens that come with the base game, and now there are also these evolution cards, and depending on the number of hunted, it depends on how many of these cards you can pick. And that is the general overview of how to set up the game with the expansion. So I found the player aids to actually be really helpful in remembering the different steps. So this game, the base game, has 4 phases, but with the expansion, it adds an additional phase 5 of evolution. So to start, phase 1 is exploration. This is where all the hunted are going to be choosing a place card of where they want to go out here to take an action. So let's just say we chose this one. And then once all the hunted players have done that, then you'll move on to phase 2. Now, in phase 1, the hunted do have an option to resist or give up. This is where you'll be discarding some will counters in order to pull up your discarded cards back into your hand. But you want to watch out, because if you have to give up where all of these are removed, then the creature moves up 1 closer on the track. Now the goal is to be the first side to reach one of these, or reach this middle here. So this is the creature, this is the hunted, and you're racing to achieve this spot. Now there's also this additional thing where if the hunted reach this as well, then they win. And this right here is a new feature that the expansion provides. The base game is just this one path to victory, and then this provides an additional path to victory. So now, let's move to phase 2, which is hunting, and this is where the creature is going to place out their tokens. They have 3 to start, and you're always going to place out, the creature will always place out this one. And basically, you're trying to catch where the hunted went. So the creature doesn't know. So let's just say the creature thinks that we picked 3. All right, so that is where they're going to place the token, and then you can place these as well, depending if the creature played a hunt card that shows one of those symbols. You have the target symbol there, the Artemia token symbol there. If the creature plays one of these cards, they can also play out these tokens. After the creature has placed out all the tokens, you move to phase 3 of Reckoning. This is where all the hunted are going to flip over their place cards. So this player, for instance, played a card with 1, where they went to 1. And you're going to apply the effects and resolve the different spots. So this player happened to choose 1. Let's say that they instead chose 3, where the creature token was. Then what happens with that is that player is going to lose 1 will, and this place becomes ineffective, so that hunted player cannot use the ability. And then the assimilation token will actually move up. So this track here, it will be moved up 1. If the hunted went to 2, where the Artania token is, this means that this place becomes ineffective, so the hunted can't take the ability, and the hunted that went here have to discard 1 place card. If the hunted had chosen one of these, for instance, where there are no tokens, then what they can do is use the place's power, so the text down below, or take back 1 discarded place card. Now, taking back the discarded place cards can be important because whenever you play cards each turn, they remain out here. And so what that does is that leaves, or that allows the creature to more easily figure out what place you might go to. For instance, to start, players only have 1 through 5 cards. So if all of these were out here, then I only have 1 card left, and the creature could figure out where I would go and easily catch me. So it's important to try to, throughout the game, make sure you are able to pull cards back up from the discard pile into your hand. So if the creature had placed out this target token because they had one of their target cards, hunt cards, then what will happen if a hunted went here, then you will do the hunt card effect, and then the hunted can use the place's power still, or still take back a discarded place card. There's just a target effect based on the card. So what the Sanctuary expansion provides is a new token. This is the Sanctuary token, and new things that you can do. So if the hunted went to 1 and was not caught by the creature or some other tokens, then you have other options of things you can do. So to start, you can always still use the place's power or take back a discarded place card, but now you can also do a couple other things with this. If you are on this location where the Sanctuary token is, you can now fortify Sanctuary and also shelter survivors. So whenever you fortify, you're going to move the defense counter up 1, and the player will take whatever icon it is, they will do that action. And then also, in addition, you have the option to shelter survivors. So that player can turn in their disc or face down survivor cards to also move up 1 additional space, and you can only do that once per turn. Now, if the hunted had chosen locations adjacent to the Sanctuary, so for instance here or here, then there's another option that you can do. You can rescue a survivor. Now, what that is taking a survivor from here and immediately resolving its effect if able to. And so, like, for instance, this would be drawing another will counter. And then you would place it face down in front of the player. Now, these place cards give you a lot of different kinds of effects. So, for instance, 5 here, the Rover, allows you to take a card from the reserve and place it in your hand. So, this is 6 through 10. So, this is a way to get cards from here that'll now allow you to go down to these locations. Then you have other cards that do different things, like allow you to take back discarded cards, fortify Sanctuary, draw survival cards, rescue survivors. There's a bunch of different things you can do. After all the effects have been applied, then you move on to phase 4, which is end of turn, and you're going to be discarding the card you played into your discard pile, and then you're going to be taking back take back all of these tokens for the creature. The creature is going to draw up to 3 hunt cards, and you're going to move the rescue counter token up by 1. Now, the expansion adds a new phase 5, which is called Evolution. This is where you're going to move the Sanctuary token over to the next card. Make sure to reveal up to 2 survivor cards. So there's 1 taken, so you're going to reveal an additional one. And now the creature has the option to evolve or nest. So for evolve, the creature can take 1 DNA, add to their supply. You can draw evolution cards but it costs 1 DNA per card. These will cost more, and these are going to cost less. And then you can also develop your evolution cards that you have. And the costs are here, so that costs 2 DNA, 1 DNA, 6 DNA, and it gives you new special abilities in different phases. Or the creature can choose to nest, which is taking 3 DNA to their supply, but then you would have to move the defense token 1 space. So you'll just be doing rounds of all those phases until one of the victory conditions has been met. So the hunted will win immediately if their rescue counter token goes all the way to here, or if the defense counter moves all the way to here. And then the creature will win if their assimilation token goes all the way to here. And whoever goes there first is the winner.
Okay, so that was Not Alone and the Sanctuary expansion. So here are some of my thoughts. I really, really loved the base game here, and I really found that it was a lot of fun. Now, there were some other things that the Sanctuary expansion added to it. So obviously you guys saw that there's a whole nother way to victory. There's a whole nother path to victory for people. And, that makes the creature have to really think about not just where they're at on the normal track, but also what's going on this other track too. So it's a little extra thought process that the creature has to go through, which is really interesting. Also, there's evolution cards that give the monster a little bit more of a kind of a different abilities that they can use in order to help figure out where people are at on the board. So I thought that those were some really interesting thoughts. There's obviously a whole nother phase to it whenever you added in the Sanctuary expansion, which kind of changed the game a little bit as well. And obviously the cards are a little different, but what did you think about?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, the phase 5, it's called evolution, where you can choose to evolve or nest. I mean, I found that interesting. So that adds like a whole nother thing that the creature can do at the end of the turn, the round. So in general, I don't really like one versus all games. So like this isn't my favorite genre, so it's not like one I'm super excited about, but for a one versus all game, if you like those, I think you should try this one out. It definitely is interesting. I don't mind this game, but it's not my favorite because I'm not a huge one versus all person. But for a one versus all, I feel like this was really good. And the base game, I was like, okay, I'll play it. But I really think the Sanctuary expansion adds a lot more to it that I enjoyed. Like it made this experience more enjoyable. Like if we were to play Not Alone again, I probably wouldn't play it without this expansion. It definitely adds new routes, new things you can do that made it a lot more enjoyable. I just love having this additional path to victory. I really like the new cards, 6 through 10. It adds new things obviously because now you can deal with the Sanctuary token and fortify, and you got the additional cards, the survivor cards that you can do, which you can move up the defense counter. Mm-hmm. I found it a lot more interesting. There's a little more setup involved, but I found it a lot more interesting than just the space game. I would say if you're interested in this game, I would check out this expansion for sure because it definitely adds a lot to it. And I gotta say, I've always loved the art of this game.
It is pretty nice.
It is really pretty. And the new cards that we got, 6 through 10, they're really cool. Like the monolith. And yeah, I've always been intrigued by this art. It's definitely some good art, for sure. So that's our thoughts. Definitely check this one out, especially if you like one versus all games. Definitely give this one a try. So that is Not Alone and the Not Alone Sanctuary expansion. So if you guys like what you saw today, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe to help us out. And thanks for joining us today, guys. And we will see you on the next one.
See y'all.